Hey y'all, I'm Talise Homebirth Queen, author of Home is Where the Birth Is, the stories of my 6 home births and how you can do it too. I wanted to share some tips for the holidays, whether you're going somewhere else or you're going to be at your house, for breastfeeding and pregnancy. Now, first of all, if you find this to be a sad time for you, or you can't go somewhere where you want to go, or people can't come over or whatever, don't be one with the sadness. Try to be happy. Listen to some happy music. Try to watch happy movies or shows that are not holiday related so that it doesn't make you sad, because if you are pregnant, and even if you're breastfeeding, that does affect your milk and your baby. So you want to try to stay as happy as possible, and that's just in general if you're pregnant or nursing. Now, what I did when I would nurse, when I had to go to someone's house, and this wasn't just holidays, this was in general, before I got comfortable with nursing around people, is as soon as I came in the house, I will find the host. Hopefully she was a woman, and I'll say, okay, I'm nursing. Is there a place that I can go where I can nurse in private and be comfortable? Usually people are like, yeah, sure, no problem, and they show you the place, so that way you already know and you situate it so that when your baby is ready to nurse, you can go do that. Also, another tip I used after I got more comfortable with nursing is I would wear, under my shirt, I would wear a cami. So I would slide the cami under my breast and then lift my shirt up just enough so that the baby could see the breast latch on and then nurse. Now, some babies are really feisty and they kicking and they don't want nothing on them. And so, you still might want that space just in case. So either way, still ask, is there somewhere that you can nurse? Also, I would suggest that women wear flats. Now, especially if you're further along in your pregnancy. You didn't like wearing heels normally when you wasn't pregnant. After a certain point, your feet hurt, you take them off, you're putting on the flats. So, you're pregnant. Just go ahead and wear the flats to begin with. That's my suggestion. Instead of having to change the shoes and all that. They have cute flats now. So, just try, start off from the jump wearing the flats. Now, also speaking of flats, that relates to my standing. You want to be mindful, especially if you have people coming over, to not be doing a whole lot of standing, because if you decide to not do that, your body is going to tell you, hey, don't do a lot of standing. You're going to start getting pains in your back or your legs, or your feet will swell up. So, if you don't listen to yourself and you get to the point where your feet are swollen up, just make sure you sit down and elevate your feet. Another thing that helps with that is drinking a lot of water. So if you're going to your relative's house, make sure you bring like a gallon of water, or your water container you usually use, or extra bottles of water so that you stay hydrated. That's good for you when you're nursing and when you're pregnant. Also, be protective of yourself and your baby. So if you know that auntie so-and-so or uncle so-and-so or cousin whomever is either anti-home birth or scared or usually has negative things to say about it, just keep it to yourself and say, I don't want to discuss it. And if they're persistent, try to change the subject or leave the room or pretend you have a fake phone call or call somebody. Because you have to be very mindful of every single thought you're thinking, especially if this is your first home birth, because you want to protect that and make sure that you keep your positive vibes and energy. And you don't have to be worried about combating somebody about it, because that's just stressful. You can do that after you have the baby if you feel the desire to do that. Another thing, if you're early on in your pregnancy, usually most people are finished with nauseousness by their second trimester. But, if you are nauseous, especially going to someone else's house, you got the smells and colognes and perfumes and all of the food items. You might want to bring you some snacks or some crackers or some things helps with you when you get nauseous, and maybe some smells. So if you have some essential oils that are good, just, my mom does this, just keep one in your purse, take the lid off, or put on some cloth and smell it while you're sitting there, so you don't have to worry about experiencing that. Another thing I would suggest for a pregnant woman is to find a seat that's very easily accessible to the restroom. So you don't have to always be saying, excuse me, and getting up, because it's cute at first, but then it's going to, I'm letting the pregnant lady go by. Eventually it's going to get irritating for you and them. So just sit somewhere that's close, where you're comfortable, that's close to the restroom. holiday time, if you're going to someone's house or you have people coming to you, is a great time to start your meal. People getting signed up for your meal plan or meal train, excuse me. If you don't know what that is, they have an app, but you don't have to use the app. You can use anything. You can just use the calendar and say, hey, the baby is due such and such in time. So, I'm going to need you all's help. I would love you all's help. So, if you could sign up to bring a meal or to help with some chores or to babysit the children I already have or to come do some laundry or anything, try to get people to go ahead and sign up. And so, and then when you get closer to the time, send out a little friendly text reminder. Don't forget, January 18th, you said that, you were going to, come over and bring a meal. So I just want to send a friendly reminder. We're so excited the baby's coming. And, don't forget. And I think this was, I had one more tip. Make sure, some people don't like people touching their stomach when they're pregnant. I love attention, so I didn't mind people touching me. For whatever reason, strangers didn't touch me, but I didn't mind people who I loved and cared about touching my stomach. But if you don't like that, either speak up, you can do it nicely, because I know sometimes we're hormonal and attitude and we're pregnant. Don't touch me. You don't have to do that. You can just say, hey, don't touch my stomach. I'm not really comfortable with that. Or you can move their hand away. Or I saw somebody was like, you can rub their stomach. And most people will be like, whoa. Which would be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't rub her stomach. So, do speak up. You want to be sitting there just letting somebody touch on you, unless it's grandma, just try to move around and escape. But these are just some tips I thought of, and I was like, well, today's a great day to share them. So hopefully some of these tips are useful and helpful for you. If you don't have my book, Home is Where the Birth Is, the stories of my 6 home births, you can get you a copy today for you or your pregnant girlfriend, or if you're a doula or your midwife, a client of yours. You can get it at the link below. Also, you can get it on my website, TaliseHomebirthQueen.com. And also on my website, I have home birth classes and home birth consultations. So go ahead and check my website out and sign yourself up for a couple of classes and get your book as well. Enjoy your holidays and just enjoy, life. You got one life to live. Enjoy it. All right.